Welcome to GHC Coffee Break. Go get your coffee and we'll be right back. We're going to be talking about the great outdoors.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. Hey, Julie.
Hi, Susan.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
I'm so glad to have you here today.
I know, thank you.
It's getting that kind of weather, even though I don't look dressed like it, but it is. June is the Outdoor Awareness Month, and I
Yep.
love the outdoors.
I know, I do too.
I know we were both, and I'm like, we're not dressed very much for the outdoors, but you know, this year has been a really weird year.
Yes,
I'm
spring
like,
has been tough.
I'm ready for a real full-on summer.
I know.
June, come on.
I know.
Summer, summer, summer.
I know, ready to sweat.
Yes.
Yes.
So I know that there's a lot. You are always involved in outdoor activities, especially owning a wonderful psychotherapy bike shop.
Thank you.
I know we talked about before we started taping. We were talking about you and I both like to bike, but do give us your analogy.
My analogy of the cobbler's shoe, the cobbler's children's, well, let me get that right. The cobbler's children have no shoes. So the equivalent in the bike industry, or in my world, is the owner of a bike shop has no time to ride a bike.
Yeah.
So there you go. People say, oh, I bet you ride all the time. And no, we're working all the time. So we're hopefully providing bikes for other people to ride all the time.
Other people to enjoy your craft.
Exactly, exactly. And that's okay. That's fine. It's our motto, more butts on bikes. So that's good.
I like that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
And I have one of those bikes, and I love that bike. It's just
Good.
I haven't had time to enjoy it.
I know.
It's like
I know.
I said once. Now that June's here, I'll be definitely outdoors more.
Yes.
And looking forward to it. But let's talk about some things that people can do outdoors. I know,
Okay.
of course, our main focus of bicycles. And I believe May was Bike Awareness
Yes,
Month.
May was National Bike Month. It always is. It's put on by the League of American Bicyclists. And in the past, we've had, like the third week in May, it's National Ride Your Bike to Work Day, or commute.
That's
so
too
they just,
far for me. That's
yes.
like 38 miles.
Yeah, I know. So we try to do things, at the bike shop on a local level, and there are people who commute to work and roam.
Yeah.
And it's,
I think Jeff Brown does.
yes.
I
And
think he
there's-
does anyway, though.
Right, and there's a professor at Barry who rides his bike. So we try to, let people, hopefully make more people aware of you can use your bike as transportation.
Yeah, up the ante.
Yes, exactly.
And I think also y'all do something in May. Y'all did Up the Creek.
We did. We had
and-
Up the Creek. Actually, that was April 28th. It was
Oh,
the last
April.
weekend in April, but Up the Creek Without a Pedal. We had about 500 riders who rode 4 different routes, and it was a beautiful, beautiful day for that. So that was a really good success.
Great. And then any other things y'all typically do or did in May?
There is something coming up May the 19th. I've been a part of it the last 4 years, and I won't be able to this year, but it's put on by Murphy Harp's Children's Home. That's the home for children in Cedartown, and it's called Miles of Hope. And the last 4 years it's been on Memorial Day, but this year it was May the 19th, and it was at
Okay.
the Cedartown Depot, and people go and ride on the Silver Comet Trail.
Okay.
And
Oh, I
then
love
all
the
the
Silver Comet
proceeds
Trail.
go to support the kids and their therapeutic services.
Great.
a
And I know they
great-
do a lot of stuff
Yes.
with the therapeutic services there, so that's great.
Yes.
So, so bikes, of course, in the in June, outdoor activity is always good. If as you do outdoor activities, of course, we want to think of, and I'm the world's worst at this, sunscreen.
Right.
Um,
That's true.
I'm in the old school where when I was growing up, we never thought about sunscreen. I'm sure I'm paying for it now.
Well, and I was thinking too, when you mentioned, we talk about June and summer, the days are longer, and so maybe Susan will have more time to ride after work, since
That's
it doesn't
true.
get dark until 9.
Well,
I'm
and I
hoping.
teach online in the summer, so yes, I will definitely get more
Yes.
chance to ride. And for me, riding is actually easier than walking activities because it's more of a flow as opposed to the
Yes,
hard
a
concrete,
pounding.
a
Yes,
pounding.
yes, I do get that. The one big thing that's coming up in June that I'd like to talk about is called Bragg. Bragg is Bicycle Ride Across Georgia. It's gone on for many years, and
Oh.
this is we call this Big Bragg. And the reason we
Big
call
Bragg.
it Big Bragg is because it's a week, it's a full 7 days in June, but they also have mini Braggs. So they also have 2 weekends, one in the fall and one in the spring, where it's just a weekend and they go to different places. But what Bragg is they always start in a certain city in Georgia, and they travel to different cities over the course of 6 or 7 days. And so we're real excited that Bragg is starting in Rome on June the 2nd.
Really?
Yes. So we're excited about that. In the past several years, it's been in South Georgia, Middle Georgia. It's been a long time since they've come back up to North Georgia. So I've heard a few complaints from South Georgia people about the hills that we have up here, but I'm partial to this part of the state. Yes, we
Yeah.
have some hills, but to me it's beautiful scenery. So I would love for people to kind of take note of that. So on June the 1st, which is a Saturday, I think, I don't have my calendar in front of me, but the Saturday, the first weekend in June, people will be coming into town. Typically, Big Bragg attracts about 1,000 riders.
Whoa.
So they'll set up in
That's a
the
lot.
town green. They'll have like a fair, festival, just educational fair. There will be camping at Heritage Park. People will camp in the forum inside, and also people can use the hotels that we have now that the Courtyard by Marriott is open. And then Sunday morning at 7 a.m. the riders roll out, and the next stop is Dalton.
Okay. Wow.
And then they'll make their way over to, I don't remember exactly the spots that they're hitting, but ultimately on the next Saturday, I believe, they end up in Hartwell, and that's the end of it.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, a week.
Yes. And you can pay a little bit extra and have your luggage
Yeah,
and
I
your
was wondering
tent
how
set
that
up. So
works.
it's kind of a concierge. If you want to pay for it, then they'll set up your tent. They'll bring your luggage to the hotel. So it's a big undertaking that Bragg does, but it's a really exciting thing, and it really helps
You
tourism.
gonna do it?
I have never done it. We've always been working.
Oh, well, yeah.
There's a big contingent from Rome that will be doing it, so I'm real excited. And Ann Hortman with the CVB is working real hard to get all the planning done for that.
Okay.
So
Well, it sounds like that's going to bring a lot of positive financial influence for our area.
I think so too. And the other nice thing that's going on is the Shakespeare Festival will be going on in the town green that night. And so typically Bragg has a concert or somebody for that Saturday night entertainment that they're in, but Rome has so many places that
yeah.
people can go and hear local music. So the Shakespeare Festival, local music downtown, I think it'll be plenty, for people to do and hopefully be impressed by downtown Rome and what we have to offer.
Well, I would think so. And if anybody needs some fixing of their bikes along
Yes, that is true. Yes, yes.
we know where to send them.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome.
I know.
So, over 1,000 bikes, probably.
Yes.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
people.
just a rolling Peloton, rolling bike shop.
That's awesome.
Bike ride.
I can't even imagine.
I know.
I wish I was going to be in town because it would be I wouldn't participate, but I would definitely come have fun.
There are a lot of people that just do 1 or 2 days, so you could do
Yeah.
that as well.
But
So,
but just to have just the atmosphere
know.
of it would be electric to me.
I know.
Just to see that kind of people and
Yeah.
that many people.
yeah. The other thing that's going on June the 2nd, and speaking of Heritage Park, is the Coosa River Basin Initiative, the big float. So they're going to put in whatever you have, a water vessel, they're going to put in at Heritage Park and float down the river. So I think you can find details about that on crbi.org or coosa.org, I think is the website.
And I tell you, with the rain that came in April, and I cannot,
The rivers hopefully will be full still.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love. you know, when we think of outdoors, that's just, there's so many things that you can get involved in. Of course, one of my favorite is biking, and the other is river.
Right.
I love, and I think you've been involved with some of the river activities too, I believe.
Yeah.
Because so I wasn't just creating that in my head.
And also, you know, we also kind of refer to, you know, I'm big with trail advocacy.
Yes.
And we also refer to rivers as blueways too, because they also, not so much today, but, you know, they are a transportation alternative as well. So.
And to me, anytime water is such a calming thing for me. And I think a lot of people, whether it's a river, a lake, an ocean, or waterfalls.
Right.
In fact, there's a great, I'm sure Barnes & Noble books, any book place you can get, but a great guide map of waterfalls to visit.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, you know, like a hiking book or a biking book. Waterfalls, really good waterfalls to go visit.
Yeah, and good hikes
Yes.
to get to them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good to know.
And waterfalls to me, I can just almost just meditate and just go away, just hear it in my mind, because they're just such it is a meditative place for me.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of people go up to Johns Mountain and Cowan Falls.
No, I haven't been there.
Up in the northern part of Floyd County, up in the Pocket. It's beautiful.
Oh, really?
Beautiful.
Now,
Yes, so I recommend that.
how do
You go up Everett Springs Road, and it's just a place called the Pocket in the Chattahoochee National Forest.
so is it pretty close to here?
That's probably 30 or 45 minutes.
Oh, I call
But
that close.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes.
Anything that's less than an hour or hour and a half away, that's close.
I would recommend that. Cowan, it's kind of a different spelling. I think it's Keown, but look that up, Susan.
Yeah, I'll have
because
to check with you on that.
It's gorgeous. And speaking of water, to me, I think Mike and Connie Sams, who started River Dog Paddle Company, did a wonderful job getting more people on the rivers with their stand-up paddle boards. You know, you stand up and you paddle, and I've not done that. But they last spring, and I think they're going to start it. They also have a Wednesday night paddleboard.
Are they hard
ride.
to get? Are they?
I think you really have to have a sense of balance.
Okay, well, I might be in trouble.
Yes, that's why I haven't done it.
Okay. I can't imagine. You look like you'd have balance. I know that's a stereotype,
Problem.
but you
Problems.
look like you'd have
Yes,
balance.
I don't.
I don't know if I would either, but it might be worth a try.
Yeah.
I'm game to try anything at least once.
I would like to try it. Yes.
Yes. So, what are some other activity? I know, like I said, and that's one of the reasons why, of course, you're biking, and I knew you were pretty involved in rivers, but you're an outdoors. I know how much you like the outdoors. So that was one of the reasons.
Yes.
Because I wanted somebody to come in that didn't have just one thing about the outdoors, that you really, you know, could bring us an eclectic view of some things that in our area, and I know you're a Roman.
Yes.
That we could bring our audience to get them enthusiastic about, hey, let's get out and do some things. And
well, I think we talked about it the last time I was here, but the new trails, GE Trails at Girard Park out in West Rome, at the corner of Lavender and Redmond Circle. Literally, you pull into the old General Electric facility, and you go left up the parking lot, and there's a trailhead. So the last 2 years, my trail organization, and a group of volunteers, probably the average age of about 65 or 70 years old, have been building 6 miles of walking and mountain bike trails out there. And it was General Electric's property, and then they deeded it several years ago to the city, and the city of Rome was so kind to just say, hey, y'all can build trails. We want to make this a passive recreation area. So we're real excited about that. I've got a log book so people log in. At last count, we probably had over 300 or 400 visitors out there. There's a 1.2 mile walking path that goes around the trails, and then the trails sort of zigzag and twist and turn in the middle of that property. It's about 40 acres.
oh, wow.
So that's great for mountain biking, but there are so many people that I've seen come out there and walk their dogs and just get out and enjoy nature. It's really beautiful. We have had some drainage issues, so we've been working on that. You know, with the heavy rain, the water just sort of sits, but we've worked on putting in some boardwalks to go over the swampy areas.
Oh.
There's some
Oh,
different
see, I like that.
skills features for kids to learn how to properly ride your mountain bike. So the volunteers have just been top notch. There's a kiosk with a map and the history of that property,
Oh, no,
which
see,
was the
stuff like
old Rome
that.
Airport, which is, I'm fascinated by that as well. The reason it's called Girard Park is because Dr. John Girard was, he had that property. And he was a pilot, he was also a doctor. And in the 50s, he sold that property to General Electric. He had the foresight to think that if I sell this property really for less than what he could have gotten it for. And so thinking that this will bring industry, this will bring new people and, technology into Rome. And of course, we know so many people that worked at the General Electric facility. And so that's why we named it GE Trails at Girard Park. We wanted to give homage to Dr. John C. Girard, who, incidentally, you've probably had Mary Hardin Thornton on here, but that's her great-great-grandfather.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's just and
Well,
she's
yeah.
a Tread Board of Advisors, so it all comes full circle.
See, a history teacher here too.
Oh, yes.
We're going to take a little break. We'll be right back with GHC Coffee Break.
Packers. Viking. Packers. Viking. Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan,
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown.
downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Welcome back to GHC Coffee Break. I'm so excited to have Julie here. I said I was telling her during break that that was another reason why I wanted her here. I said because her knowledge of Rome and the area and just the little history lessons we get along with our outdoors.
Oh, yes.
was perfect. But yeah, so the trails, the other activities that you're involved in, the tread.
TREAD, it stands for Trails for Recreation and Economic Development. And before the break, we were talking about the new trails out at General Electric, GE Trails at Girard Park, that have just been a great addition to the trail system in Rome. It's a mountain bike or walking trail. So that's been a great thing. There's a map with the history of the property. There's a changing station, changing area, and there's also a composting, we call it the privy. So composting toilet if nature calls when you're in the woods.
And see, to me, when we look at that kind of, this is where we need, I'm sorry, I'm very biased in this. This is where we need to get back to, because so many people, not just kids, it's adults too, I found, are so involved in what's in front of the television.
I know.
The little
Yes.
wonderful devices in
Yes.
our hands, that and I'm guilty. I mean, it's easy with me teaching online, and and that's probably why I have neck and back issues, is because
Right.
I'm sitting here like this half the day.
Right.
So not getting outdoors, not getting our natural vitamin D.
It's true. Right.
When I go to the doctor, almost every time my vitamin D is low, and I would guarantee if most of the people in our society went in for a lab work, our vitamin D is probably
Yeah,
low.
mine is, yes.
Yeah. Because just about everybody I talk to when they get their lab work done, oh, my doctor says I'm low on vitamin D. Well, you know what? It's probably because we stay inside
Right.
too much.
I know.
And so this awareness, outdoors awareness to me is it's hitting close to home. But getting back outside, why do we all have allergies? Because we're inside so much that we're no longer immune to the outdoors.
Right, that's true.
I'm sitting here sniffling as we speak. And I don't remember having them growing up. I think I have them older because I'm in the house. But getting back outdoors, going on these trails and getting people involved.
And actually communicating face to face.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? I know.
gee, This is so amazing. So, really getting, and to think that there are cities, I know that Carrollton's doing some, the Green Zone,
Yes,
or
the
Green
Green
Belt,
Belt,
sorry,
yes.
the Green Zone.
Yes.
The Green Mile. I love
Yeah.
that movie. But the Green Belt, what Rome's doing, I really am hoping Bremen would do something like that. They've got a great way to connect the schools, like the elementary school to the middle school to the high school. There's ways that they could really incorporate. We don't have a bus system in Bremen City. Just think if they could connect at least the
Right.
school systems
Right.
and the recreation department. I mean, that would be.
Yeah, that's huge.
I hope y'all are listening.
Yeah.
I'll be
I'm sure
political
there's.
here.
I would hazard a guess to think there should be some
but
grants
again,
out there for that.
it's money.
Right.
But the other, I know I went on a ride with you guys last year to Chickamauga.
Chickamauga. Yes,
That was,
yes.
And there were people young and old.
That's right.
That was on that ride. It was fantastic, and an education, history. If you haven't been out to Chickamauga and rode it, not on a car, but on a bicycle.
I know, and really, preferably to me during the week. Those weekdays, I mean, weekends are
Yeah, it
so
was-
busy if you can.
It was
but
kind of crazy.
yeah,
but it was
yeah.
still good.
Yes.
I mean, we really enjoyed it, but and that was the first time we'd actually been on a organized bike
Yeah,
ride.
yeah. That turned out
we were very
really
nervous
great.
because we thought, what if we couldn't keep up? We did.
Right.
It was fine.
Yes.
Especially with the variances of ages, because everybody. In fact, we kind of was like, it would have been. We could have gone a little bit.
I know.
Faster
I agree. Yes.
pace.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it was something we enjoyed. We're glad we did it. The trail system. How would one go about really getting people more involved in that kind of endeavor?
Well, I think part of it is the trails. People need to know that the trails in Rome are not like the Carrollton Greenbelt or the Beltline that are a perimeter.
Okay.
So the trails in Rome, I refer to them as kind of fingers. You sort of have to know where to go.
Okay.
Start at the town green by the Forum, and then they sort of go out from there. But right now we have 13 and a half miles of paved trails.
And we've ridden on some of them, and I like them.
Yeah, they're great. The one out by Ridge Ferry that goes to the Braves Stadium is probably what we call that's the heaviest traffic, but that's more recreation. People are running, they're walking, they're using the playground, and then the one that's sort of behind East First, and it's by the health department, that's called Kingfisher Silver Creek Trail. To me, that's the most beautiful and bucolic. Speaking of, it doesn't have waterfalls, but it runs, the Silver Creek runs through it. It's a beautiful trail.
I think that's the one we went on.
And that one is, to me, more of a transportation corridor, because people from South Rome or from that area are typically using their bikes or their feet to walk to work, to walk back and forth. Part of our 2017 SPLOST that was passed, yay, overwhelmingly, last fall was to extend the Silver Creek and Kingfisher Trail down to Lindale. So it would be 3.5 miles on abandoned Norfolk Southern Rail line to go to Lindale. So that will extend it even more. Backing up to 2013 SPLOST, there were TRED and the city partnered with two projects. One is the Mount Berry Trail Connector that will connect Berry College to the trail system. The other is the Redmond Trail Project 2 that will connect West Rome. So we've got all of these things in the works. Trails take a long time
I don't think
to
people
build.
realize how long.
I don't think that people do. I do think that I do wish the city's very pro-trail and the county is becoming pro-trail, but I'm impatient and would like for these things to happen overnight, but I also understand the way that government works.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I think that's part of the reason why TRED is so important, because we are kind of the public-private entity. You know, we're the private, the government is the public. We have a good working relationship. So that's, I think, where we can kind of come to the table.
Okay. Any other initiatives or any other things you're seeing for to kind of give us our audience activities or things to do outdoors?
Jackson Hill also has hiking and mountain bike trails. That would be near the Rome Civic Center, across from Steak and Shake on Turner McCall, across from Steak and Shake and Aldi. But we built those probably 5 or 6 years ago with the blessing of the city. And that also, people might know that as more Fort Norton. There was an old Civil War fort up there, like earthen fort. But there's 5 miles of mountain bike trails. They're a little tough. GE, it's flatter and it's a little bit easier for kids. Jackson Hill, you really need to be a little bit more experienced on your mountain bike for that, but that's a great place. And of course, there's always Berry College, that has miles and miles of trails. The caveat with Berry is those trails are not very well marked. They're not very well signed. The House of Dreams, of course, is 2 miles up and back. That's a beautiful hike or a slightly difficult uphill 2-mile ride on your bike. But I would recommend that. People can always walk to the water wheel at Berry.
Yeah, I've been out there. That's pretty.
But the other trails, you sort of have to know where you're going, unfortunately.
Okay.
But of course, Berry is always a great destination.
Okay. Besides biking and trailing, anything you can think of in this area?
Something that comes to mind is always the fun pool down in Cave Spring that's super, super cold. That's outdoors.
Been there in a while.
The spring-fed pool, that's in the state of Georgia. So that's kind of fun. That would feel good probably about right now in midsummer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. So, yes, Rome is, of course, since we're Romans, I'm not technically a Roman, I'm more of a Bremenite, but, Roman is part in my blood since I'm here so much.
Yes.
But yeah, Cave Springs, getting outside of the immediate area. The Silver Comet Trail, of course, is a great trail. And any of the things we did, I'm not saying never go out on your own, but be always cautious about doing any of the activities outside on your own by yourself. Don't forget water. And even though we tease about the phones, definitely make sure you have communication of some sort so that people know where you are and you have communication, because there are some isolated parts in a lot of these trails. Sunscreen, of course.
A helmet if you ride a bike.
Yes, a helmet. Even if you're an adult, it took me a while to make myself wear them because it's not vanity. It was just habit.
Right.
There's nothing to be vain about. I like the cushy butt. I'm sorry, I do like the cushy butt pants. They're more comfortable in my old self. But good shoes.
Yes.
Regardless if you're running or riding.
Right. It's true.
Shoes still are important, which I found out. So there's things that can make it more comfortable, whether you're walking or riding or running. Anything I left out?
Well, I always say that to me, I like the old saying that sitting on the couch is more dangerous than riding your bike. So basically being sedentary is really worse, health-wise than actually getting on your bike or walking.
Yeah.
So, and Trey, my husband, always says the hardest part of a ride is to actually put your shorts on, is to just do it.
Yeah.
And then you feel so much better.
And it's true. I truly believe that. And if you're, like I said, if you're living in Rome where you could pretty much get on a bike and go or
there's
walk,
really no reason.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you. I agree. I should be riding or walking to work.
And it's a little bit,
but I don't, and I should.
I make excuses. It is a little bit more. I have to put my bike on a back of a truck or car or something to go. It is a little bit more of an excuse, but it's still just that. It's an excuse.
That's true.
To not make the time. So think of things to do outdoors. Take plenty of water, protect yourself, go outside, get your coffee, and we'll be right back.
Your life is filled with opportunities to show the world you can take charge. It's waking up each day with a mission. It's working each day toward a goal. It's choosing to rise. It's charging forward with a purpose. It's changing the course of your life and taking charge of your future. If you're ready to be a Take Charger, enroll at Georgia Highlands College today.
All right, we're going to do a rat-a-tat-tat. I'm going to name something outdoors, and you're going to name something outdoors.
Okay.
I'm going to cheat. Biking.
Fishing.
Camping.
Hiking.
Walking.
Roller skating.
Ooh, running.
Skateboarding.
Swimming.
Hopscotch.
Ooh. I think we're going to go with that, y'all. Have a great summer. Get outdoors. She beat me, I guess. Having a great summer. Until next time on GHC Coffee Break.